I just had this amazing feeling of healing,
Mhm.
uh, like a pause where you just can feel so connected. Like the energy totally shifted. Um, but the last time I felt anything like that, that was like super powerful. Like I got this massive sense of home and almost like reassurance. Like everything, like it made me realize that a lot of the stuff that's going on in our world right now, all this upset and chaos and just massive everyday like uncertainties, like what's today going to bring us, it made me remember that in times of change there's always massive upheaval, and then there you get to a plateau where the plateau, take your breath, you get to relax and just breathe, and then it allows you to collect yourself, and then okay, everything's going to be okay, and then you just kind of keep moving forward. That's what it felt like I was sitting there, I was watching this light come across, like, I didn't open the blinds, I didn't do anything, I just literally, like, I tried to keep working, but I was a lot slower because I was just sitting there, like, kind of relishing in this light that was just not so harsh. It was really peaceful and calming. And I just tried to hold that energy that I was feeling. Like I was trying to be like, no, come here. I want peacefulness a little bit more. Like, um,
But you
I don't,
can.
I don't know if you experienced that
I
too.
do.
Like,
That's the mode that I'm on most of the time. That's what I'm trying to convey to people when I do my videos and when I try to talk to people. It doesn't have to be a split of a moment thing. It doesn't have to be a once in a blue moon thing. It's something that you can actually train yourself to feel constantly. And what was happening then for you, you were in the moment.
right,
You had that moment of letting go of what's surrounding you, and you were in the moment of not letting outside situations dictate how you were feeling, because there's still protests going on, there's still death going on, there's still a fire going on, there's still all these uncertainties and what people call negativities going on around the world. But at that moment, right there and then, in that second, it did not matter. It was not part of your world anymore.
right,
You kind of created your own world. And even if it was just for a few seconds or minutes or whatever, you still created that for yourself. And that's something that it's possible to do no matter what it's happening around your world. You just have this is where meditation comes. This is where also realizing that it, sometimes I don't like to say this in public or in videos because people will get offended, but it's getting to the point where I don't give a fuck anymore. And I'm trying to convey how it's supposed to be regardless. What's happening right now in the world is not your world.
right,
If you really think about it, it's not you're not there, you're not in the middle of it,
right,
you're not, but you can choose to make it part of your world and get stressed out and get depressed over it and feel those negative energies and take them in and make it part of your world. Or you can choose not to, and you can choose to have your own moment, your own world of peacefulness and in the moment. So one thing that sometimes I tell my son is, or even myself, is the now, right now is your now. What
Right.
happened 5 seconds ago is no longer your now. What's going to happen in 5 seconds from now in the future is not your now. Right
Right.
now is your now, right now. So stay focused on your now. This is
Right.
now, right now. What I just said a second ago is not even a now anymore. This
Right.
is it.
I
So what
haven't
is
that connected to myself in a long time. I did that on purpose. It was, a response to the traumas that I experienced. I didn't they're so deep that it's just a natural thing that kind of happens. Like I was having like flashbacks that continued for the first like 3 years or so. Um, I would go to bed crying every night and I would wake up crying every morning, just mad because I survived and they didn't. And so just moving along those paths, on the journey to healing, you have to kind of distance yourself a little bit from it and then figure out ways to motivate yourself to keep going. And there I was in a public space and I was in a fetal position on the floor just crying so unconsolably. So blessed that day because literally they all like there were probably 30 people in this class. And my mom's there with me and she realizes that I'm done for the day, right? Like I can't. And she just comes over and she just wraps her arms around me and she was just holding me and she's explaining to people, they're coming around, they're like, oh my God, is she okay? Did she hurt herself? They're like one, she's just not going into detail. She's just explaining, like, no, it's just that, she's this trauma just happened. And it was so much support. And that's when I started to kind of realize that I could put these shards back together.
Mhm.
But I have a hard time because, you know, you get comfortable, like we were talking about earlier, like you get comfortable in the spots that you're in. But, I've always moved with this like connection to myself um, in my life, in my past. Like that's what I've always done in the past, but that was before. You
Mhm.
see what I'm saying? That was the
Mhm.
before me. And
Yes.
so I'm trying to move to where right now I'm kind of meshing the two together. And so when I experienced that on Tuesday, it wasn't something that I was unfamiliar with. However, it felt unfamiliar and it took me by surprise because it has been so long. Um,
So you do understand that. I'm sure you do. You understand that you are your inner being, right? Your light being, your spirit, your the everything else, your body and your mind, it's not you. They're kind of like tools, right? Um, so that's why I over and over and over and over I talk about meditation because your inner being, you as a whole, you who you really are, doesn't live in the past. It doesn't live in the future. It lives in the now. And it knows what you want. It knows where you're going. And and it doesn't know anything else other than love and peace. It really doesn't. The inner self is nothing but pure light and pure love. So that was a moment of your inner self kind of knocking on your door of your
right,
brain and your physical body saying, hey, this is who you are. This is who you truly are. You are not your past, and you are not your future, and you are not the circumstances that have happened to you.
Right.
You are this, the calm, the peace, the love, the light. That was light shining on you for a reason.
Yeah.
And it was also a reminder that you do know what that's like. You do know what you are. So I would really, really, I think that that was a major thing that just happened to you. And I would really fucking beg you to meditate, because the only way that you're going to truly heal, and your inner self doesn't need any healing. Your inner self doesn't know suffering, okay? And this is going to sound really harsh, but is the truth. Suffering is an option. It's not necessary. Pain, we all go through pain. Okay, what you went through is painful, and everybody goes through pain. But as far as the suffering part, that is something that, whether we don't realize it because we don't do it on purpose, but the suffering part is completely an option. Um, and the healing part comes through meditation, through aligning yourself with your inner self, because your inner self doesn't know, is not affected by anything else that surrounds you, any circumstances or any kind of painful situations. It's not affected by it. And what gets affected is your brain and your physical body. And it's up to you to align yourself with the inner self so that you don't get affected as much by everything else that happens, and to be able to heal from things that happened that were so traumatic and so painful. But I tell people all the time that going to therapy, it really doesn't work for the, because it, yeah, people like to talk about things and to feel like they're making some progress, but at the end of the day, if you're not aligning with yourself, it's just not going to happen. It's the meditation part where it comes. And sometimes it sounds really corny to say just meditate, but a lot of the work that we need to do in life, more than physical, okay? And I see you busting your ass, working 12 hours a day, barely having enough time to do anything else. And honestly, a lot of the work that we need to do is internal. It's, if you take the time to meditate every day, even if it's just 15 minutes, even if you only reach that clarity that you reached on Tuesday for 5 seconds or less, that's enough. Even if you sit down for 15-20 minutes, but you only tune in for a second or 5 seconds, that's enough to do every day in order for you to build up to full alignment. And once you do the energetic work, everything else in your life kind of, it's like a puzzle. It kind of fits
Right.
together.
It'll all
And
fit together.
yes, you are so programmed to work your ass off until you can't work anymore. Um,
Yeah.
not to, if you take care of yourself, you're selfish. If you're not taking care of your family, you're selfish. That's bullshit, actually. You should be taking care of yourself first, and you should be doing energetic work so that everything else can fall in place. Your job, your money, your house, your relationships, those things are nothing but energy that has been manifested one way or another. And
Right.
why is it manifesting the way that it's manifesting right now with you working your ass off, is because that's the belief that you have in your head, that you got to work 12 hours a day in order for you to be able to make to pay the bills. And
Yeah.
honestly, it's not true. It's, if you do the energetic work, if you align with yourself and you are clear about what you want, you can be a full-time successful artist, photographer, whatever it is that you're trying to do. You just have to do the energetic work first.
Right.
And a lot of people don't take the time to do that because either they don't believe it or they feel like they don't have the time for it, which is BS. Because first of all, time is invented. It really doesn't exist if you really think about it. So So yeah, you don't have time because there is no time.
Yeah,
But but but
yeah.
you know,
It doesn't
speaking
exist.
but speaking like in the reality that we live in, there's a meme that I found, and it was a quote by one of the gurus. I don't even know who said it, but it said, I think I don't know if you saw it. I posted it with the dog, but it said, if you don't, something in the lines of saying, if you don't have time to meditate for 20 minutes a day, then you should definitely sit down for an hour.
Oh